there, you made it to the Coffee Buzz Club channel. In this video, we will talk about Top 12 Shocking Caffeinated Coffee Benefits. Almost every person loves the taste of a fresh cup of coffee in the morning. Many drink coffee just because it tastes so good, but that cup of coffee might bring you more than just satisfaction. Discover these top 12 caffeinated coffee benefits that you may or may not know about coffee. Watch through, and you might be surprised by what you'll see. Caffeine in coffee relieves muscle pain. We all know how post-workout pain feels. Your body will be sore all over. Luckily, researchers from the University of Georgia found that people who consumed a moderate coffee dose will likely reduce 48% of post-workout muscle pains. Perhaps drinking coffee would be another way to ease the pain after a good workout. But, remember only to consume moderate doses, 2 cups of coffee, of caffeine each day. Caffeine may reduce the likelihood of getting Alzheimer's. Forgetfulness is a real bother, especially for people who are of age. Keeping your memory intact can be very difficult, especially for people who might be having signs of Alzheimer's. A study about the effects of caffeine on memory integrity found that a cup of coffee may be able to prevent people from getting Alzheimer's. The researchers found that caffeine was one of the substances that protect the blood-brain barrier, thereby protecting and preventing the damages of Alzheimer's to reach the brain. Another team of researchers also found that frequent coffee drinkers had the best memory-keeping ability than those who aren't fond of coffee. Caffeine may prevent cataracts. Caffeine is a substance available in many beverages and not just coffee. A group of researchers led an experiment at the University of Maryland School of Medicine by studying mice that had been fed with cataract-inducing diets. The researchers gave caffeine eye drops to a group of mice, while the mice control group was given a placebo. The study found that the group of mice given caffeine eye drops significantly reduced the formation of cataracts. Information brought by this study's results led to the estimation of the number of cups a human needs to consume daily for coffee to induce cataract-preventing properties. A human being has to drink over 6 cups of coffee to experience the same cataract-preventing properties that the group of mice had. Caffeine consumption lowers the risks of erectile dysfunction. A study conducted by the University of Texas Medical School found that men who consumed 2 to 3 cups, 250 to 375 milligrams of caffeine, of coffee each day have lower risks of the development of erectile dysfunction. The researchers observed lowered risks in men who consumed no more than 85 milligrams of caffeine each day, which means that an average male coffee drinker will less likely develop erectile dysfunction than men who have not had any coffee intake. Caffeine has favorable effects for people with asthma. Asthma can give people a hard time breathing. Asthmatics have it the worst by just having this ailment. But, this possible solution could help many asthmatics from all over the world. The U.S. National Library of Medicine published a study and found that caffeine appears to stimulate airways to open and could likely help people with asthma breathe easier. So if you're an asthmatic, better start drinking that cup of coffee. It could keep you from frequently using asthma inhalers. Caffeine prevents significant weight gain. A German study has shown favorable results to people who are looking to cut a few pounds. The study found that coffee drinkers who drank about 2 to 4 cups of coffee each day are more likely to prevent gaining weight than those who have not had coffee intake. Another study also found that caffeine stimulates brown fat cells that cause people to burn more calories than the average person, which means that coffee drinkers may have a higher metabolic rate than those who are not. Caffeine may reduce chronic inflammation as one ages. Chronic inflammation is something to be wary of when we get older. Fortunately, a cup of coffee might solve this problem. The research was done by researchers from Stanford University and found that caffeine inhibits the gene-directing process responsible for a low level of chronic inflammation as a person ages. Chronic inflammation is a long-term inflammation that can last for months to years. It could lead to a mountain of health problems, including heart diseases and heightened blood pressure. Caffeine appears to reduce any age-related inflammations. Caffeine reduces the risk of developing kidney stones. It is believed that caffeinated coffee makes urine diluted. Through this belief, a group of researchers conducted an extensive study focusing on reducing kidney stones risks through caffeine intake. The study found that people who consumed caffeinated coffee had fewer signs of kidney stone formation than those who didn't. thus proving that caffeine might affect urine dilution, thereby reducing kidney stone formation. Caffeinated coffee may protect people against eyelid spasms. Eyelid spasms, eyelid twitching, or also called blepharospasm, happens when the upper eyelid moves involuntarily, lasting for few seconds up to a minute. Although caffeine is one of the causes of eyelid spasms, according to a recent study, people who regularly drink coffee are less likely to develop primary late-onset blepharospasm or involuntary eye spasm. The study found that the average person needs to drink 1 to 2 cups of caffeinated coffee each day to observe the protective effect against eyelid spasms. Caffeine is heart healthy. A German study about the localization of an enzyme inhibitor to improve the cardiovascular system's respiration found that an average amount of 4 cups of coffee each day helps boost the function and prolongs heart muscle cells' life. Caffeine may minimize the risk of some types of cancer. Cancer can drastically affect the livelihood of each person who acquires it. It's one of the leading causes of death in the world. A study found out that caffeinated coffee can be a protective agent against liver and colorectal cancer. These two types of cancer are one of the leading causes of cancer death. Studies show that people who drink coffee are up to 40% less likely to have liver cancer. Another study found that coffee drinkers who consume an average of 4 to 5 cups of coffee each day are 15% less at risk of developing colorectal cancer. Caffeine may minimize the risks of Parkinson's. Parkinson's disease is the most prevalent neurodegenerative condition, second only to Alzheimer's. Parkinson's disease occurs when dopamine-producing neurons in the brain die, and just like Alzheimer's, there's no record of a known cure. So prevention has always been an essential step in avoiding Parkinson's. But a study focusing on the connection of caffeinated coffee consumption with the risks of Parkinson's disease found that frequent coffee drinkers have 32 to 60% lower chances of developing Parkinson's. This is certainly good news for coffee regulars. Frequently asked questions on the benefits of caffeinated coffee. Is caffeinated coffee good for you? Even though other people highly oppose this fact, coffee is actually good for people who take it in moderation. Erica Loftfield, a research fellow from National Cancer Institute, stated that the results from various studies regarding coffee have been consistent and can serve as evidence that coffee is associated with lower mortality risks. Does caffeine affect the heart? Many people are still wary of the effects of caffeine on their systems. However, these people should know that there have been many types of research involving caffeine effects in the cardiovascular system. Most of these studies have found that moderate caffeine intake isn't harmful to your heart. Although drinking coffee increases one's blood pressure, this effect goes away momentarily, more so if you regularly drink coffee. Does coffee make you sexually active? Some people may want to enhance their steamy nights with their partners, and we're here to tell you that drinking coffee just might do the trick. Research has found that drinking at least 2 to 3 cups of coffee can give you that nudge to improve your sex performance. Another study also found that women who downed coffee more often are more likely to be aroused than those who didn't. Do all kinds of coffee have the same amount of caffeine? Coffee beans are grown in different places in the world. This makes each coffee bean grown in different areas to be different from other beans, including the amount of caffeine it has. Of course, that's not the only factor contributing to the varying amounts of caffeine, but it also includes the type of coffee bean and the coffee plant species. Each plant produces a unique batch of coffee beans, with slightly different features from the other. Does adding milk or sugar cancel out benefits? Coffee contains a substance called caffeine. And how your coffee is prepared doesn't change the fact that the coffee bean has caffeine. Adding sugar, milk, or even cream and honey won't ever modify the coffee's existing substance. No matter how much spice you add into your beverage, this won't cancel out the caffeine you'll consume. Who should not drink coffee? Coffee is known to increase one's heart rate, and that's not a bad thing. It's an entirely normal and temporary body reaction. But, this beverage may not suit some people, especially ones that have this kind of effect. Since coffee is known to increase heart rates, people with irregular heartbeats, arrhythmias, should steer clear from drinking it. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Give this video a thumbs up, it really helps with the channel to grow. Click that subscribe button and the bell notification. See you in the next one.